Hello and welcome to another LifeWriting.com conversation. With me today is Miss Tracey Clark-Johnson. She's a registered nurse in Savannah, Georgia, helping me to observe National Self-Check Month. Hi, Tracey. How are you?
Hello there. How are you? It's good to see you.
Always good to see you, Tracey. You know it. You know it. You know it. I I, I got to ask you something right quick. So
Okay.
the Bachelor of Nursing, Science in Nursing, the PCCN. I've seen that before, but I'm going to need you to expand on it. But the CPAN, I've never seen that before. So you need to help us with bringing that to light. Let us know what it means and all of the background information, whatever you want to
Okay.
share.
Okay. Just like you said, the BSN means that I have my Bachelor of Science in Nursing and I am a registered nurse. The PCCN indicates that I'm a progressive care certified nurse. I am certified nationally to take care of a group of people who are critically ill. They're not quite ready for ICU, but they are teeter-tottering. They cannot be out on the general medical surgical floor. These
Okay.
people need to be monitored with telemetry monitors. I'm giving IV drips of different types of uh, very serious medications, if you will, things like
Hmm.
amiodarone and insulin. Those things have to be monitored carefully. The CPAN is the certified progressive post anesthesia nurse, excuse me. And that group of people are people that are rolling out of the OR. Those people are still under sedation. I need
Hmm.
to monitor airways. I need to monitor hemodynamics. I need to make sure that pain is controlled, and I need to make sure that they are safely coming out of sedation. And that is not always as easy as it sounds. It's not when people come out of the OR. It's not a matter of waking up. It's waking
Hmm.
up safely. Are you breathing? Are you bleeding? Are you in pain that's uncontrolled? Are you having any hemodynamic changes? And that's what I do. I'm a recovery room nurse right now, and I've been doing that for the last 3 years.
Oh, recovery room nurse. Oh boy, nice, nice. Oh, but hey, look, you have me churning already. I'm like, I can turn that into another conversation in and of itself, right?
And if you decide to, please invite me. I would gladly participate.
Look, check. I got witnesses. I will be doing that too. So look, National Self Check Month.
Uh-huh.
The name is pretty self-explanatory, right? But when it comes to self check, what do you envision? Like, what does that mean to you?
So for if I'm share if for self-check for women and for men, there are different
Hmm.
things. For let's start with men, because men are often overlooked, and I don't we need to correct that, specifically black men.
Right.
So for the self-checking of black men would be let's make sure we have healthy prostates, make sure our numbers, we need to know our numbers, and those numbers would be your blood pressure, your blood glucose, and your cholesterol levels. Those things are
Mhm.
very important, and they tend to be they become more important as we age. The body changes, and it doesn't work as efficiently as it did
Mhm.
when we were younger. So for black men or for men in general, check that prostate, check your heart, your blood pressure, check your blood glucose, know your cholesterol level. The PSA number is going to be your prostate. Knowing about those types of things, being aware of any changes in your body and any of those things that would be detrimental to your health down the road. Your weight, how much you exercise or you don't exercise, how much you eat. Those types of things. That's what self check means. And let's go ahead and add a mental health aspect to this.
Oh
Checking to
yes.
be sure you are nice and healthy mentally. There's the stress level, those things that are causing you to be, if you will, off center.
Hmm.
Finding out how to get back to those things, to the center. That's what self check means. Taking the time to take a personal inventory. For women, it would be your breast self exam,
Hmm.
knowing cervical, being aware of those numbers, your weight, your blood glucose, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, but checking making sure you're getting that pap smear, making because cervical
Right.
cancer is a big deal.
Right.
Uh, And also that mental health aspect, making sure that you're taking care of yourself mentally. So this is a national self-check month, is an opportunity for you to take your personal inventory of your overall health and making sure you're where you need to be for the longevity. And that's what that means to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you touched on a couple of things in that response. Kind of what I wanted to inquire next with you, like kind of those best practices, right?
Mhm.
What things should people what things should become commonplace when it comes to people's health or what have you? Do you want to expand on that in any way?
I will. So, for instance, I know that right now we all are aware, painfully aware, that we are living under the restrictions of a pandemic. So there may be a tendency not to get to those appointments that we would normally go to,
Hmm.
starting from head to toe, making sure that dental health is very important. It often gets neglected, but making sure you get that dental visit, those eye checks, especially as we age, and especially if you have diabetes, you want to make sure that you keep your eyes in check, because one of the ways that diabetes affects us, has those negative effects, is that
Hmm.
the high blood sugars causes damage to the small vessels in our body. Small vessels are in the eye, small vessels in the kidney, the vessels in the heart. That's why you see kidney disease and diabetes going, and hypertension going hand in hand, because it's that assault on the vessels over time that causes those vessels to shut down. So you lose your eyesight. You also lose sensation in your extremities, because that's where the smaller vessels are. That neuropathy that is often talked about with diabetes. So you need to make sure that you are aware of your eye health, that you are aware of your heart health, that you're aware of your kidney health, that
Hmm.
you are keeping up, like once again back to those numbers, that blood sugar, the cholesterol level, the blood pressure. All those things mean something. They are just not randomly selected to be monitored. The reason you monitor your blood pressure is because the pressure within those vessels. Yeah, sometimes your blood pressure is going to go up. Maybe you're exercising, maybe you're upset. But if it's done, if that blood pressure is high continuously, it's that
Hmm.
assault on the vessels continuously that breaks them down, that hardens them, builds plaques, causes heart attacks, causes strokes, causes kidney disease. If it's diabetes, it's the high blood glucose numbers that are causing assault on those extremities, those
Hmm.
smaller vessels, those your toes. When diabetics lose toes and they
Right.
lose, yeah, they lose. It starts to work backwards. So they're losing a toe, they're losing a foot, they're losing a leg. That's not coincidental. The Those are things that the kidney disease. You start those the salt on those vessels.
Hmm.
The kidneys are not working, and then the electrolytes are out of balance, because it's really hard to regulate. Um, to regulate the body outside of the kidney. The kidney, it takes a special person, the nephrologist and that nephrology team and those dialysis nurses. They are really fighting a big battle trying to get a person dialyzed and get those electrolytes balanced. And it takes a lot of effort. And so you need to know about your body from head to toe. And it's important to know, because uh, you want that health to go as far as it can.
Absolutely.
You want longevity, and you want healthy longevity. You don't want longevity with illness. You want a healthy longevity. And so
Healthy longevity.
eating right, exercising, and knowing those numbers, those are very important.
Yeah, and the way you laid that out is so important for us, for everybody to know
Mhm.
how everything is connected. There's so many
Everything
dependent
interwoven,
variables. Yeah,
interwoven,
yeah,
interwoven.
interwoven. This is acting up. You're not taking care of this over here, and it affects two or three things over here. And so,
The
yeah,
body's
thanks for
amazing. The
it is
body's
amazing.
amazing because it's almost like it has built-in alarms. If you're not doing what you need to do over here, it's going to send off alarms in other parts of your body. Like, you might want to check on this.
I like that analogy.
It's an alarm system.
Built in alarms.
It is.
And to your point, whenever an alarm goes off,
Pay attention.
it may behoove you to pay attention, do something about it. Just like the
Is it?
alarm in your house or what have you.
Right.
It's letting you know something
Exactly.
is going on. You're not just going to let the thing keep, ringing or
You got to
going on.
go and assess it and see what's going on. It usually will give
Uh,
you some information. It will generally give you some information. It
I
really
like it.
will.
I like it. So, Tracy, I have several, uh, many of us can attest to this. I have several family members,
Hmm.
friends,
Hmm.
associates who, they have an excuse for everything, all types of reasons for not getting their checkups, not going back, be it routine checkups or whatever the case may be. So, what would you say to those folks? What would your approach be to that person?
When right now, I am about 3 months away from finishing a family nurse practitioner degree,
Oh, cool.
and I get to practice in a clinical setting with patients. I actually see patients. Oftentimes, um, you will have a patient say, "Well, yeah, I didn't do it because I don't feel like it." So I'll, or I, whatever excuse is. One of the ways I immediately connect with them is, "Hey, okay, let me give you an example." Uh, so I had a patient, a male patient, come. He came in and he said, "Well, we took his blood pressure. Blood pressure is elevated.
Hmm.
Why aren't you taking your blood pressure?" Well, he gave me this runaround. I said, "You're relatively young. Do you like to have sex?" And his eyes like, "What?" I said, "Do you like to have sex?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah." I said, "Do you want to continue to have sex?" And
Mm,
he's like, "Yeah." I said, "If you don't take your blood pressure, sex is going to be the last thing on your mind because you will have a stroke and no
right,
part of your body is going to work the way you want it to. You
right.
make it relevant. You have to make it relevant." He
Make
said,
yeah.
"Miss Tracy, when I leave here, I'm going home and I'm going to take my blood pressure medication." And I
That
said, "And you
that
know
got us
what?
attention.
When I see you again, I'm going to take your blood pressure and I hope that it will be controlled." He said, "I promise you it will." I said, "Okay, that's it. You got to make it relevant." So often, especially in my community, my black people, it's one more thing to do. And I want to stress how important it is that it's not just one more thing to do. It really is the taking care of your health is
Right.
very important.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
make it relevant. You got to they got to trust you, trust me as a
Hmm.
provider,
Hmm.
and I need to make what I'm asking them to do relevant to their daily lives. And
Right.
that's one of the ways I make a connection, and I get them. You get them to come back, and they get checked, and they'll do what you ask. It just can't be one more thing to do.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of it too. It, I'm not. I got my own health issues that I have to make sure I stay on top of because
Right.
the body's going to have health issues as you age, regardless of who you are. But there's some things you can do to minimize what happens. And exercise and eating right and knowing your numbers is one of those ways that
Yeah.
costs you very little money or time. Just get it done. You got to make it a part of your lifestyle and you got to make it a part of who you are. It's got to be a part of your culture.
And look, that's part of it too. Is kind of the when you said that just then, I pictured our vehicle, our car. Routine
Exactly.
maintenance, right? Routine maintenance. If you are not taking care of that vehicle or house or whatever, you're gonna pay for it
Eventually.
exponentially in the long run.
Right.
And
Right.
kind of the way you conveyed it earlier, you were touching on everything, so interconnected and dependent on one another and so forth.
Mhm.
If you're not taking care of something at the onset and now you allow that alarm to continue to go off and
And you
and
ignore it.
ring without
And
addressing it, you're ignoring
right.
it. Now you've potentially have 5, 10 other problems,
Issues
right?
that you got to deal with. And I try to stress that not people, me included, we need to
we
take care
we
of what takes care of us. That's what we need to do.
that's a good way of putting it. That's
Yeah.
right. Take
Right.
care of what is taking care of us. I
Right.
like it.
Hmm.
I like it. So in terms of, you mentioned, you're a provider. right? You're part of the system. You assist. You're a resource.
Mhm.
Like what resources come to mind? And actually, I want to pose that in a different way. Let me piggyback
Okay.
on you mentioned the connection that you make with a patient, right?
Mhm.
Oftentimes, and I've experienced it myself. uh, I'm not clicking with that doctor. Something is
Mhm.
going on with that nurse, and it just bothers my spirit in a way,
Now,
right?
and that statement there underscores the importance of people of color getting into the healthcare system, becoming nurses,
Yes.
doctors, or whatever the case. That is very important. I cannot stress enough the cultural aspect of healthcare. Um,
Mm.
People now, I can treat anyone, and I love treating people.
Hmm.
I connect with the person, but there's something about a patient rolling out of their OR and they're scared, and they wake up to my face, whether it's Mama Johnson or Miss Trace or whatever it is. It's me saying, I want you to lie still. I'm going to take care of you. You're in a safe environment, and
Right.
trusting what I say. The trust part I cannot underscore.
Hmm.
And so often when I have spoken with people and they've shared their experiences about their healthcare experiences
Hmm.
and why I'm changing doctors or why I'm not going back to this person, re- recurrently what comes up is we didn't connect. I felt like I was being judged. I felt like they were talking down to me. I felt like they were rushing me. They weren't listening to me. And I am so fortunate. I am so blessed. I feel like I am I've been favored to be a nurse and a nurse practitioner because while in healthcare, I get to talk to my patients. I get to spend time with my patients. I get to actually understand that, yeah, you got high blood pressure, but what other things other than health issues that are causing this high blood pressure? Is it I lost my job, or I got a bad relationship, or the car broke down, or I got the kids and something's going on here? Whatever it is, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So maybe we can resolve some of these issues by me connecting you with some support resources, and at the same time, that blood pressure comes down.
Right.
It's a
Right.
it's a whole person, a holistic approach to taking care of what's going, because we don't operate in a vacuum. When we're talking about health, there are all these things other than what we're eating and drinking and sleeping. There's all these things that come into play that affect the way our blood pressure reacts to our environment. So
Right.
I'm just so fortunate that nursing incorporates that mindset. You work within that mindset of there's all these other, there may be a house note due that I can't make, or there may be
Hmm.
a vehicle issue, or I'm stressed because I got an upcoming test, or I just had an argument with someone. All those things come into play. Put them here on the table so we can sort them out. And if those things are affecting your blood pressure or whatever, let's see if we can resolve these things, and then in turn we're treating what is ailing you in your body, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So it's
so
a
the,
holistic.
Yeah, I totally agree. So
Mhm,
you mentioned resource and resources, right?
mhm,
Um, there's well, I mean, you can expound on this however you like, but there's
mhm.
so many people. I have this laptop, right? The internet. I have connectivity. I have a smartphone, right, in one hand. I have access to wherever I need to go to find out. Um, Maybe, hopefully, what information I need at that particular time, right? To
Mhm,
lead me into the right direction.
mhm.
But oftentimes, folks don't have that type of access, that type of
This
capability.
is true.
So, from that perspective, or again, however you want to address it, how should folks identify other resources, it's particularly those who don't have the typical access that some of us have?
That is a big problem still in this country. There are too many people who don't have adequate access to internet, which exponentializes the resources that are available or that you
Mhm.
become aware of. Just having internet access can be
Mhm.
looked at as one of uh, those healthcare issues or those healthcare uh, uh, attributes that we need to be considering.
Yeah.
But for those people who don't have access to the internet, the local library, and even some people don't even have access to local library.
Mm,
For
that's
those
true.
times, you still there are drives going. There's an effort now to take the internet to those areas that are not reached, like those rural, underserved areas,
Mhm,
but they
mhm.
still haven't gotten there.
Right.
Most people have some access to some type of phone, some type of cell phone or landline.
Mhm.
The, Often there are, if you can't access information from a smartphone or computer, there are numbers that are available to call for different types of resources. Limited
Okay.
as they are, they're still there. But my encouragement is to just try to connect with your local health department
Mhm,
or
mhm.
connect with someone you know who has access to internet and
Yeah,
use
good
it
point.
and get to
Yep.
those resources. But it's still it's an indicator of, it's one of those poverty um, you know judgments you can make, or one of those measures of poverty, let me say, where if those people who don't have access to the internet or don't
Mhm.
have access to uh, connectivity, they
Yep.
don't get served. In rural areas, you don't have as many healthcare providers. That's a
Right.
problem. And sometimes people travel for miles to get to the healthcare providers. So it's hard. It's important that when you have that opportunity to connect with that person, because you may not see them again for 3 or 4 months, you need to make it important. You need to make an
Right.
impact,
Right.
so that's important. So trust is
You,
one of those things you got to establish early.
I know you mentioned the like in rural locations or what have you. I told you before, I'm from rural Georgia, right?
Mhm.
They
Me too.
they've progressed a lot,
Hmm.
thank God for that. But there are still, certain pockets in
Pockets,
certain regions of the country that, they're not available from a
but
resource
not available.
perspective. So I've heard of, like mobile nursing units and
They do.
so I've seen a lot of that happening lately, and glad to see even more of them being planned in those
That's
areas.
very important. You do see that a lot with mammograms, and but what would be, like you said, what would be really good if there was a drive, or there is a drive to have those mobile units be primary care mobile units where you can't get to us, we're coming to you.
Right.
And still, even in those instances where that van rolls up with primary care providers, I still got to make sure I establish trust, because when that van rolls up, I need you to know that you can trust that I'm gonna do the best I can for you. I'm not, and
That's true.
you're battling misinformation. Well, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? So you got to get out there early, or you got to be willing to deal with people who have misinformation, and you got to be willing to hear it, to dispel it,
Hmm.
and to
Hmm.
speak their language, if you will. So it's not going to be
Speak their
it's not
language.
going to be effective for me to go into a place where I have never been speaking a lot of medical or technical jargon. I got to speak their language. I got to know words that are going to be they're going to connect with them and that population immediately. That kind
Right.
of thing. I got to establish trust. That's it. I
No.
got to establish trust. I can't underscore that. I got to establish trust. It's
Yeah.
very important, because if you don't trust me, you're
Absolutely.
not going to do anything. You ain't going to
No.
do it.
No.
You're just not
No.
going to
No
do it.
matter no matter
You'll
what
look
setting we're
right.
in.
You'll look right at me and say, "Yes, ma'am, I'm going to do it." And you're going to walk out that door, and that is going to be the last time I see you. That's it. So it's important that, look, I'm here to do what's in your best interest. And when they believe you and trust you, you've won a major part of the battle.
So you're making me think here, right? You know a lot. Very experienced, certified in multiple areas or what have you. You're making me wonder. Your 20-year-old self, right?
Hmm.
What would you? Well, just that. Knowing what you know now about self checks and the like, what would you tell your 20-year-old self?
What would I say to my 20-year-old self? Do not go to Dairy Queen today. That would be the first thing. Don't go. Don't go. Get out there and walk, girl. Because while you got the advantage of health on your side, maximize it. So instead of going to Dairy Queen, stop at the store and get a yogurt or a salad.
Yeah.
Walk. Do those exercises. Take care of your mental health. It's not necessarily that you be interested in that guy. Don't stress about him. Stress about, if you're gonna stress about anything, stress about making sure that you're taking care of your health, you're taking care of your intellectual health, you're taking care of your
Hmm.
mental health, you're taking care of your physical health.
Right.
Smile more, smile more, laugh, uh, pursue those things that bring you joy. Uh, it's not necessary for you to have all the answers,
Right.
and be honest about what you don't know, and take a honest inventory of what you don't know, and go after those things that you don't know, and go after
Exactly.
them with uh, just fervor. Just go after them to fill in
Yeah.
those gaps. uh, Gain as much knowledge as you can so you can make informed,
Hmm.
holistic decisions, and not just
Hmm.
the tip of the nose decisions. You want holistic, big decisions about way down the road, not just what's right here at the tip of your nose.
Mm.
And it's okay to say no. No is a very powerful, there's a reason it's in our lexicon. Say no.
Yes. Yeah.
Say no. Say
No.
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 Yeah.
Look. Each and everything you said. I know I said your 20-year-old self, but you were speaking to me with a lot of that too. And let's just say I'm a little way away from 20, but
Me and
anyway.
you both. Me and you
Yeah. Yeah.
both.
Yeah. We'll talk about that another time. But look, Tracey Clark Johnson, as always, this was awesome
I'm so
information.
glad.
You're such a pleasure to converse with because you have a very canny way, a very unique way of making the complex things sound plain. You
And that is important.
meeting people where they are,
I love it.
emphasizing the compassion part of it, creating those relationships
Yeah,
with people. And in certain professions, it goes without saying, you have to have that ability
you
to do
do.
that. Yeah,
Nursing is a calling, not a job. I
it's
promise
a
you, I
calling.
believe that. It's a
It's a
calling.
yeah. I tell
It's a
my
calling.
cousin, I tell every nurse I know, you guys are special. I do what I do, and God has everybody
And
on
that's
this
a
earth for a
calling,
reason.
not a job. That's a
It's a
calling.
calling.
What you do, it's a calling. And when you see it as a calling, I try not to say this too often. I would nurse without them paying me, but I dare not say that in front of people.
Right,
You better
right.
pay me for what I do. But yeah, I would do it. I would do it. I would do it. It brings me that
No,
much joy. It brings me
no,
that much joy.
absolutely. Well, look, like I said, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. This has been great information, as always, very informative. And I really appreciate you coming on
You are
sharing
more than welcome,
this
Chris. I am
information.
so honored to be here again this morning. And whenever you need me, you call on me. I will make
Okay.
time for you.
Okay.
I really will.
I just proved that. I just proved that point, right? When I need you, oh, I'm calling. I'm gonna come.
All you
I'm
gotta do
gonna
is
reach
text,
out.
and I'm putting you in that schedule. I'm moving things around because I got to do this. This is a bigger calling. Once
Yeah,
again, it's that calling that you have to answer.
absolutely. Well, look, I appreciate it again. Again, very good information. This National Self Check Month,
Right.
and yeah, I just appreciate you coming by and dropping this knowledge.
And
I
just
really do.
remember, pink is gone red for National Heart Health Day. So that's why I have this shirt on. I need to share this. Pink, which would be Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority
Ah,
Incorporated, has
ah,
gone red for Healthcare and Heart Month. So get out there and put those steps in and take care of that heart. Okay, do
nice.
that. Okay,
See that?
all right.
That's what I'm talking about. I love it. And well, look, everyone, Miss Tracey Clark Johnson breaking
Yep.
it down as she always does. Such a pleasure of having her. I really wish that was as informative to you guys as it was for me. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to the YouTube channel at Where Writing Speaks. Thanks for your continued support here at lifewriting.com, where writing speaks.